everyone akoigi Doordarshan Manipur na paring nai na puthok chaba akoigi learning English grammar gi anoba episode amada mayam pumnamak pu taram na okcheri koi mamangi chayol da models of the past ki models singi matang da koi nai na ba haukrabani ngasi koina yengba koina haugadabasi akoi meaning and use of different models of the past ko koi past ki models mayam singi meaning sing adagi koigi makoigi use mayam sing uses mayam sing koi kamai sina bage moi meaning sing si kai kai no haibna ching sing si koi nainamin si ahan badda koi may have might have could have haibasi si hana koi mayam yengmina si matang koi nainamin si ahan badda may have might have or could have si past ki possibility karigumba mo oiramba yaba masi adugumba phibam sing or thodok sing adu masi express tawda season or amda haigana ngasi nataba or hojik nataba ngasi gi mamangda or hojik sigi mamangda ko past da thokiba thodok ama koina guess tawba or koina masi oiramba yai haina koina certain oina phongdokpadi ngamdaba situation oiba taragasu masi oiramgani haina possibility akoi masi oiramgani haina phongdokpa adugumba situation da may have might have or could have season. For example, I can't find my keys aigi so singdo ai phangdre ai phangmangamdre I might have left them in my room aigi room da ai thamamdo male haisi kaino masi past event which has guess ni masi ai adu oiramdo male haibani aduda thamame haibnate I have left haibnate adubu kai haige hai kan stay I might have left them in my room masi kaino I can stay there might have season I can stay the past possibility past ki event ma possibility or guess something I guess that would have happened ko masi oiramgani haina aina guess taro khallaga aina masi sagatlaga wakanje aina masi phongdo ibni ko aduna I can't find my keys I might have left them in my rooms aigi so singdo thiba phangdre aina khanbada ai yumda ai kada thamamdo male na hai na atopa example krayeng si Johnny is not here yet. Johnny si hojik phau yoroktri mapam sidaida he may have missed the bus. Khangde khoi mana yoroktri si kari maram gino khangde Johnny si hojik phau di yoroktri adubu akhoina guess tawraga possible oiba situation ama ko hojik nataba he may have missed the bus haisi kaino may have missed the bus haibse mase past ki event amani hojik nataba hojik yam thengjale hojik se pung ghari yenga ma hojik phau lakpadi matamdi yorabni ma yorok Johnny se kaigino he may have missed the bus haisi kaino hojik ki mamang da khra ma bus to ma miss toromani haisi kaino haikan staida mase khoin ursi kaino sidaida past ki possibility or something that we guess hoi mala kanda marama ma hairak pa yai adubu we guessed now that he may have missed the bus mana bus to miss tokibagi oram bayai mana hosi phau laktrise haiji keno masi past ki event ama possibility oiba or akoina sajallaga bhapna sajallaga akoina konoma phongdukpa matamda may have haibse akoina season or might have haibse season adage mo no one's voice is heard in the house next door akoi gi ka sigi wangmada or akoi neighbor da akoi yumlo na bagi yum sidaida or ka sigi wangmada leiriba topa ka se mi makhon amok tadi they could have all gone out makoi moi loin chathom do male haiji keno chathom da busu ye loin tummaga lem busu ye adu it's a guess it's a possibility masi makoi ngasai loin chathom do male something that must have or happen karigumba ma makoi thom ba ya ba or thokraba oiramba yai haibagi adugumbagi situation jine dom kai ngasigi hojiki example ahum do amuka in haijarake aduga muna yengbiu masigi differences mayam sing aduga masigi may have adigi might have or could have ki magi mong si koi yengminase I cannot find or I can't find my keys. I might have left them in my room. Might have. Johnny is not here yet. He may have missed the bus. May have. No one's voice is heard in the house next door. Mathangi yums deida akoiga thangnaba yumse makon kanabo makon kanamtagi makon tadre. They could have all gone out. They could have all gone out. Masikaino, I can state that they are used. These are might have, may have, and could have are used to show past possibilities or a guess about what happened, cause something that is in the past. Karigumba amada koi past da thokkiba thokdo amabu guess tor koina haiba matamda may have, might have, or could have sisina have si masigi example sing de koina ubo phange degi mu could have haibasi sigi pibam si khaktanatna. Could have is also used to talk about something the speaker was able to do in the past but he did not. Haibadi kaino could have haibasi speaker sina hairiba misak sina past that tawbudi ngamamdaba adu tawhidraba tawdok amagi matangda tawdok amabu express tawda could have haibasi sisne ai mukan haijrake no paduna thabaksi tawbudi ngamamba adu tawdi tawhidraba aduguma situation ju express tawda could have haibasi sisne. For example, they were all having so much fun studying their lessons together that they could have stayed longer. They did not stay longer. Haibdi moi ma'am sing do satra ma'am sing hostel la harsi. Hostel da moi ma'am sing je like se paminare nuaina ko moi se like pa si nuaina moi sing je paminara kan stay da thengna paminara kan stay da adudagi hena thengna paramba yabane dubu moi they could have stayed longer. Makoi hena pamung desa changna grek masam sai ka da changna grek thuna haineba adu moise yam noina moigi lesson dut with fun galoina makoi se harauna like to pamineram bani adu madudagi hena thengdana paramba yabane haise keno pa gidre haine ko adana sidai koina urse could have haibasi subject of or the person or the group of people do makoina tawbudi ngamamba pasta adu tawdi tawgidraba adugumba situations deida akoi sisne. I could have gone to I could have kudamoin habada to for example kraga in panjarabada I could have taken that bag adu I have not taken it. Aina lambi lakpa matamda bag to poramadi phadawni ai poraktre. Could have haibdi ai mafamda ai gari da hapsu chali ai thangala porokbasu dum yai matamju lei adu ai toroktre haibadi speakers na tawbudi ngamamba adu tawdi toroktraba phibam judaida ai koina could have seasonai habsi masigi example sings de koina ubo phangi example amaga ai hajarake I could have done well in my exam if I had worked hard but I didn't work hard. Masi kaino aina phajana like to paramadi like orairamadi ai kan honaram taragadi ai exam da phajana tawram gadabni haise exam da phajana su tawramdre aduga like su ai kanna honaramdre honaram da bududagi ai like si kanna tawdre haine ma honaram budi ngami adu honadi honagidre haine aduna I could have done well in the exam in my exam if I had worked hard aina kanna honaram targidi ai exam do phajana ijaram gadabni I could have done haise koina ure adai matang da muk must have haibasi karam kanda season have si koi machat naina makha singde ko yenge ini ko must have is used to show probability in the past oi thomba yaba pibam ko that is among the haigana I can say the speaker is almost certain that action took place at the time before now. Haibadi speakers na nganga ibusna I can say the masi soidana pangtho amani thabak to matam da haibasi adugi mi phibam da akoi masi must have season. For example, there's no vegetables in the refrigerator. We must have eaten them all. We must have eaten them all. Masi akoina loin chathu amani. Haisi kaino. Haisi that something that is kaino. Haisi probability in the past. Karigumbama tho amani tawgrabagi damaktani. Masi oy saisi phongdok nanabagi damakta sineba. Must have. Haisi something certainly almost certain. Masi soidana oiramadawne. I masi I guarantee pirisini du oiramani adunani haisi mana masi must have sisine aduna refrigerator da vegetable amho leramdre kaigino we must have eaten them all moido akhoi loi chathomani haiba vegetable sing do chathomani aduna leiramdise haibigi mong ne example to pa kra yeng mina se many more a number of people are there on our street tonight than usual ko hanagi matam gi mong da nataba ngasi gi nungdang da akhoi leirak se or akhoi lambi se mi na tamada thalle ngasi mamang da thokri mong da hanadagi yam hena thalle makatana something must have happened tonight on the street ngasi gi nungdang stay da street da lambi da karigumba thodo ama thom do mali something must have happened among the hanging speakers in almost certain masi soidana oiramani masi di phaklang da leitum thabagumani haibigi situation that something must have happened I see my must have haibasi kram kan sijinage I can the speaker sigi magi wakhalon da masi soidre masi soidana oiramani almost certain oiraba pura soidramne ina haise haibigi situation da ko past da madu thodo ama thokre haibasi phongdok pada must have haibasi akhona past modal ama oina akhona sijine something must have happened tonight on the street should have aduga ought to have haibasi akhoi kai da sijinage haibasi ai makal anikak uchage should haibasi mamange chayol sing da khoin ugrabne should has always an element of giving advice ko mahakti should sidi advice piwada hek ayambana sizinaba adugumba model amani adana should have haisisu kaido sizinage kan advice pibo matam da sizinai ahan bada number 1 ade ought to have haisisu advice sizinab the should have or ought to have haibasi advice pibo da sizinai number 1 da ko for example akoina ubeyabsi kaino hai kan state that John missed the bus John na my bus to nan thokre ma bus ta ka khalodre bus to ma laktre da chatkre or missed ogre adama ke hai makada he should have left his house a few minutes earlier magi mayumdagi magi bus stand bo tholak podo minute khradang ma ngan thomadi phadawni but he didn't madu tawgidramne habidi adugi nganna tholaktabadagi ma mister ne aduna should have haizikeno it's an advice ko na advice be he should have left his house a few minutes earlier minute kragi mamang da kitang nganna thom targadi ma sin nangadamne he should have say it's an element of advice ko advice ki karigumba sida khara yauri aduna should have adu siga chamana na amuk makata na hojiki example tumak ought to have haibasi sinaraga ai haizarake John missed the bus he ought to have left his house a few minutes earlier ko mai mayumdagi minute kharakatang ngang khalam gadamni ma lakpa matam thorakadamni haji he should have or he ought to have left the house few minutes earlier siki example ani sida koina u sikeno should have and ought to have are used to express an advice or offer an opinion regarding the past ko thokre thokdokse ko ma hojik lere bus mamang da kano da bus stand da bus ti chakre ado mamang da kitang mana thokpudo ngang khatna tholam gadamne haije something masi thokraba adubu masi advice to nangsi oiramadi phadawni or opinion ama pibo matamda or something that has happened regarding the past ki thogdomdi thokraba adubu mana hairiba miduna advice ama piba or magi opinion ama regarding the past event da adugi event thokraba thogdok tugi matang da adu haiba advice or opinion am piba matamda should have or ought to have this name ko it refers to an action that would have been good or appropriate but never happened masigi advice di nang adu torom targadi pharam gadabni adubu thokidre adu oigidre haibasi express to matamda hairiba should have and ought to have haibasi season makata na should have and ought to have si akona advice people the season haigre anisubada akona should have and ought to have haibasi for expectations karigumma ma aina asha to matamda mana si tawrak phamthoi tawrak kadabani o masi tawbam thoi haina expect tawbada asha tawbada akoina should have and ought to have this season for example God John should have completed the task by now on the hagana John magi report tadri mana haidri loidri my thabaktu loire natraga loidri haibasi kem haidri but I expect him that hojik ki pungpam sidadi ma loibam di to e haini mai I'm expecting ko John should have completed the task among the hagana I expect him to complete the task by now but he hasn't ma hojik loidri loire natraga loidri hai pauju peraktre o loisu loidri gengi phibam dusu koina masi sina be John should have completed the task by now masi kaino expect to in asha to ni nang matam yam chang man gre thabak to hojik ki mata hojik phaudi nang loibidi yare dana haibigi phibam du daida should have haibasi aikoina expect to matam da sine ought to have sine for example John ought to have completed the task by now hojiki pungpam sidadi yam kuiman gre nang loibam di thokpane John o ma loibam di thokpane haibane express to matam da koina koi expectation akoina asha tauba adu matam do asha tauba phibam da haiba ngasai gi ought to have or should have haibsi sisne not only an advice or kedawa akoi gi expectation da so koi sisne haibsi masigi example things dagi koina uba pange aduga loina masigi should have haibasi advice da adagi expectation da aduga loina masi commonly it is used in apologies ko akoi soigre haina koina phongdokpa matam da koina sorry haina phongdokpa matam da should have sisu sisne for example I'm sorry that I'm late for work ai ngakpi gani ai soigre ai thabak lakpa matam da thengdokre I should have come earlier I should have come earlier haisi keno masi apologies da koina sorry haiba matam da hena akoi emphasize tawna bagi damakta I should have not done that I should have done that I should have come earlier I should have brought that ai du poram gadamni ai ngana ta lam gadamni ai tawramoidamni ai du tawram gadamni haibna chingba I should have come earlier haisi de koina apologies should have haibasi apologies to matam da or koina ngakpi gani ngakpiu hana haiba matamda akoina madu hena emphasize to no bagi damta should have season now using not ko akoi not or akoi ge past model that negative oina season matam stay not season matam da koi kai rules lebage or kai masigi examples sing do ko yeng kan stay da ko masigi rules masigi regulations case do ko yeng minasi the use of not with the past tense model expresses the idea that whatever action took place was not good or appropriate akoina past model ga not siga season matam stay da mana thokiba thodok to masi chana di tawramoidamni masi phattaba action ni habsi masi koina utpa masi akoina uba phangi for example I should not have gone to that place now I regret mafam dudaida I chatlamoidamni I should not have gone masi aina tawramoidaba thabak amani I chatlamoidamni now I regret habsida not se hapak matamda something that has already taken place in the past but I should not have done it which is not so appropriate for me to be doing aina tawbada chanadaba or aingonda phaloidaba thabak ama tawrukanda aina tawramoidamni haina express taw matamda koi not say koi past model sida koi hapaga season for example zigi done I should not have done I've already gone that place but I should not have gone I chalamoidamni do chatti chalure chalamoidamni I hoji regret tawi haini mais other example atopa mana I'm too tired I shouldn't have walked on foot for this long distance I hoji yam chokthare I khongna suksangna chalamoidamni haji kaino I can something which is not good for me or something which is not appropriate for my health aigi phibam siga chanadaba oiba gi mong ne chilida examples se haise adana I am too tired I should not have or I shouldn't have walked on foot for long distance adana not si aikoina past model ga seasonarpa matamda thabak ti pangthokraba ko nangon da chanadaba tawroidaba thabak ti pangthokraba adubu pangthokibadu kona regret torokpa adugi phibam da kaidawi akoina past model past siga not siga seasonabasi masi akoina uba phangi makhata na akoi past model gi magi different kinds of past model and magi uses me amarakta would have se akoi yengminasi would have haibasi masi makhal ani thokna koi seasonaba yai past model amani would haibasi ado have hapa kanda past modal would have and third form of the verb haibasi koi structure mamang da koi nainagram ne would or modal plus have plus past participle or third form of verb se koi structure ne koi past modal gi and then would have si kaino hai kan ste would have si gi seasonal verb si makal ani thok na koi khaidok pa yae madu kaino but si seasonal kan ste da with but koina but si ka loinana would have si seasonal matamda we talk about something we want to do but we didn't do ko koina tawbudi pamamba thabak to pangthok pudi pamamba adu pangthok pudi pangthok kidraba aduguma phibam dudaida koina would have haibsiga but si koina seasonal pamatamda would have siga loinana but si seasonal pamatamda akoi thabakti pangthok kraba something talk about something you wanted to do nang tawdi tawningamba aduga tawbudi tawhoudraba koi ngasai yam ugre tawdi tawbam thoktaba adubu tawgraba adugi phibam koi ngasai ugre not seasonal pamatamda adubu hojikisina kaino would have sidi but kalon seasonal pamatamda nang thabakti tawningba adu thabakti pangtho houdraba phibam daida akoi would have seasonal but kalon example pira kan da you will understand what I'm saying. I would have come to the meeting but I was really busy. Meeting do da ai lakningambani ai lak amgadabani but I was really busy adu ai tasengna ai chilami haji kaino something I must have done I would have done but I have not done it ko for whatever reason the but ka yaunana si yaurisi ko haibidi kaino would have haibasi but ka seasonal matam da nang tawbam di thokpa adu taw hodraba phibam da koina masigi situation sidi would have siga but siga loi season I would have called you I na wanda phone taram gadamni call taram gadamni but I didn't have your number I tawbam thokpani no the phone je adu ai nangi number leramdi I would have called you but I didn't have your number I would have given you the money but I didn't have any I know on the sen khara piram gadabani adabu I on the sen do later bagini ko aduna would have haisiga but siga lakpa matamda mamang da thokraba thodok ko haibadi adu ka hatare mamang da thokhidraba thoham thokpham thokpa thodok adu thohoudraba adugi phibam da would have ka but ka se questions ne mase past modal gi adugumba saruk amani ade would have si kram kanda season age hai kan da part of the third conditional sentence ko akoina mamangi thain akoi mamangda akoigi different kind of sentence me ama koi nainaba matamda akoina bits and pieces da akoi saruk khara akoi naina khrabani different kinds of sentence ki marakta akoina conditional sentences me ama naina khrabani ado conditional sentences ki mari gi marakta akoigi third conditional haiba malai madu kaino hai kan da masidi akoina situation ama akoina mamang da thokiba situation ama adugi matang da akoina nainaba matamda akoina magi tholakpa yaba oirakpa yaba possible adu result adu akoina imagine toraga express tauba aduguma sentence tubu masi third conditional haina koi example pi matamda koi yegminasi akoi mem gyan tabigani ko akoi conditional sentence mari lei mamang da koi naina khramni adu akoi han chalagumse adu hairiba mari dugi manungda third conditional haiba duni masidaida aina panjari se ko adu third conditional sentence da hairiba akoi gi kenosi aikoigi modal se karamba modal haise have to haibasi koi season have for example if I had enough money angonda sen marang kaina leram targadi I would have bought a car komasi kaino masigi third conditional si tai si kaino hai kan state da to talk about unreal situations ko masi nangi situation je asengba di oidaba real oidaba ko it's an unreal situation in the past and their imagined result ko asengba oidaba situation past da aduga madui matungina adu oram targadi ai adu oram gadabni haibigi situation jine masibuni third conditional sentence amani conditional sentence marigi manungda ahum suba conditional sentence ni third conditional sentence haji aduna would have haiba masigi past modals se third conditional ga seasonai habnida aina hiding is a part of the third conditional have say would not have been possible to there would not have been any third conditional sentence if there is no would have key constructions yaw the target the third conditional se lairoi ba aduna kaino hai kana would have haiba aikoi ki past modal se is a part of the third conditional koi matam su loislagle masi koi gi third conditional gi saruk oma oina koi na seasonagani for example ozi hai gi ba sentence to koi muk yengminasi if I had money if I had enough money I would have bought a car masi kaino masi real oiba situation nateba aduna real oiba situation du oida targa su magi imagined oiba mana khallaga hairakpa magi my adu oram targadi ai adu or kadabni haibagi situation imagine oiba resulto masidaida season I would have bought a car mana khanba imagine toba situation du express to say I would have bought a car haise makatana example amaga pijagi ke if I had known there were vegetarians I would have cooked vegetable if I had known that there were vegetarians I would have cooked vegetable aina makoi se sa cha de mana masing khaktang chai hena aina khangam targadi ai makoi gi damakta mana masing thongam gadabni haji keno hojikti keno ma khangdana tawgre keno masi amom da haigana masi unreal situation ado past thoki bdo hojik madigi result to masi de koina ma imagine oiba situation aina thongam gadabni kaibo vegetable thongam gadabni haibsi masi de koina ore aduna third masigi would have haibsi is a part of the third conditional haibsi masi koina ore aduna ngasigi damte matang sida koi mayam lotion minase aikoi mathangi chayolda aikoi gi topic aikoi anoba topic amaga aikoi grammar gi anoba topic amaga ai lakchage ngasi gi aikoi model gi matangda modal verbs gi matangda ngasi gi episode asina koi lotion lagani mathangi chayolda aikoi gi anoba grammar gi maru oiba topic amaga ai pu lakchage ngasi gi damte matang sida mayam dagi kaina nabagi yathang adu nizari